All right, we are now. And everybody, welcome back to Isyour6covered. Appreciate you showing up. I see X-ring in there, and I think I smell me some colored fox of some sort.
Cookout. That's it.
Cookout. There it is. That's cookout. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you showing up. Let's go back to the front where Jerry Parker comes in first twice. And then we got Drew Bradley, Steve Headley, Car Kane's out there, the Shaggy Rifleman, Ranger 10 millimeter, and DW said they were gonna extract me from they're gonna save me from being behind enemy lines. So I appreciate that comment earlier. And we got Chris from Armament and Axes out there, Talking Rocks out there, 45 Otter's out there, Joaquin Jack Nava, and Alaska One Andy. John Jeffries, and Craig Johnson, James Smith, Andy Nelson, and I think, hopefully, I got everybody. If not, comment down below and I'll catch up to you. Jackson's out there. What's up? Yep, stuck in California forever. Abigail. So how was your day? How was your day, Mr. X-Ring?
Don't you need to do that?
No, I want you to check your.
Oh, okay. I can't. What's up? I am doing well.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I hope everyone else is. I've been busy. What's the word for it? Dressing up the interior cabinet for my wife for the bedroom. Bought some new furniture and stuff and put some clothes racks up and stuff. I threw away a lot of gear. Oh my goodness. I can't. 2 entire 55-gallon bags of clothing.
Did you throw it away or did you deliver it so someone else could wear it?
I delivered it so somebody else could wear it.
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
I was hard letting go. You know that saying, been there, got the t-shirt. I had so many t-shirts. I was like, man, these are memories. I don't want to do this. But yeah.
Was it a bunch of old motorcycle gear and
a ton of motorcycle gear? Holy crud, team shirts and everything else. And it's like, what do you do with it? You can't hold on to it forever.
Exactly. All they do is collect dust or take up room.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things.
We got Garage Guy 879, Spy Sweeper, Ken S. How you doing? And Conservative Sniper Runner and Jason Fisher.
Any bell bottoms.
Welcome. So I can tell you're cruising around the neighborhood, getting yourself something to eat.
I'm going to here in a minute.
I love that laugh right there. Even though he's trying to be a little ninja. You have a special guest you can't show, but he is a great man.
I appreciate it. What's the topic tonight?
Topic tonight is, well, I had put behind enemy lines just because I'm stuck here and masked wearing. Now I'm in my office, and as long as nobody enters their office, I don't have to wear my mask. But in order to get into the building, you got to do a facial scanner that checks your temperature, and then your little picture comes up, your employee badge number and all that crap, and then tells you you're either good or not good, and then you can go back to work. Crazy. Just like you'd see on TV in some sci-fi freaking crazy movie or something. So haven't got the chip installed yet in my head, so still got that going for me.
You mean that one? You mean that one right there?
Let's see, got 40 coming this week, gonna be 49. Let's get back here real quick. Well, I'll just do this, Ray. You tell me when you're ready.
Oh, I gotta mute. Sorry, guys.
You're good. Let's see. Craig Johnson, maybe getting rid of some tea. Yeah, actually, Andy, that was he gone now. So I'm tuned up. I got about 2/3, so that's pretty good. That'll last me at least a couple minutes. Sweet tea there. Let's see. The states complain about states' rights. Need to shut the F up about what the other states are doing. Just my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I saw something on the news today. So I've been trying out a different news organization, OAN, and normally I have Fox running in the background, kind of like kind of just some noise, background noise while I'm working. And I switched it up today and went with OAN. If you guys aren't familiar, it's One American News. Seems to be pretty good, not as much stuff. Not used to the faces; they're all new to me, so kind of getting used to that. But been watching OAN. So the Fox has been shot. It's been put on the back burner. So I'm not familiar if you guys know that channel or not, but the Newsmax. Newsmax is good also. Yeah, there's been a few. Let's see. There's a couple guys I've seen on YouTube, but they did have a YouTube channel. I think they still do. And they got some pretty insightful information, pretty non-biased, more down to the meat and potatoes and what's actually going on. So seems to be working out. We'll see. I'll give it a try. Chip is included with the vaccine. Well said, John. So let's make this just a quick part of the topic, a little bit of fun. So now that that great vaccine is all completed and going to be in a theater near you very soon, who's going to go get that vaccine? Who's going to be rushing out? It's in this chat right now. I'm trying to clean my screen. It doesn't look very. I think I made it worse. Shit. It is what it is. Who's going to be running out and getting the vaccine? I just want to know who that might be. And then when you do get it, make sure you keep us up to date on all your, you might just all of a sudden this little hand starts growing out of your shoulder, and it just all of a sudden. Now it could be a good thing. Like if you're carrying a bunch of crap and you're running out of hands, you might want that extra hand coming out of your shoulder. Just saying. There is a plus. There's always, lemonade when you have a bunch of lemons, right? So let me know. Not unless the military makes me. See, and that's another thing too is so far we got nobody, which I kind of assume the people watching this would probably be in the same game as myself. Not a huge fan of even liking any type of sort of vaccine. There you go. Pop's Quest. He sums it up with a very well said comment there for sure. It's like vaccines for flu vaccines. Do any of you guys get flu vaccines? Now we used to have to get them for work. Then it became you didn't have to get them for work. There was a few shots that you did have to get, but that was more for hepatitis and that kind of stuff from being in the medical field, and did end up getting those, but not a huge fan of all that stuff. So we'll see. Don't consent to anyone but myself putting substance in my body. There you go, Abigail. Nothing a shot of whiskey won't fix. For safety reasons, they should send us the vax by mail like they did with the voting ballot. Atomic Bulls, what's up, man? Let's see if old Ray's ready to talk again.
Yeah, I can talk now. I'm good. Sorry.
You good? All right.
I'm good.
Never got a flu shot. Yeah, it seems like it doesn't matter. Ray, do you like getting flu shots?
I've never had a flu shot in my life.
All right, so there you go. That's it.
Yeah, and so I think that might answer the next question you might ask.
Yeah, so Ray, are you going to be running out real quick to get that vaccine?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I kind of knew that answer, but I figured so far I did a little poll out there, asked who was ready to rush out and get the first vaccines in the United States. And what up, Thomas? So far we don't have any buyers. No buyers so far, so I told him there's probably going to be like this hand coming out, you know, where like out of your shoulder, and you'll be able to like grab stuff, and you know, just in case you needed a little extra help along the way. But
I just
like
left it.
that's
I just left
basically
it
what's going
fair.
to throw out of your arm and just be all. Oh, is that the hide I'm eating?
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
So you know the thing is especially on a live chat, you don't want to eat a hot dog or a banana if you're a guy. Okay, so you're gonna cover up the camera.
makes total sense, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Let's see. They haven't isolated the coronavirus. Some of your heads will start to spin. Last vaccine I got was 06. My left my right arm dead for 3 days. Wow, Shaggy. I think they done messed up on that shit. So you been shooting the voodoo?
No, I haven't actually because hold on, I gotta go back to camera.
You're
Yeah, I was looking at the comments. I have not because my voodoo, I sent it off to the Lapua testing center, the little tunnel that they test your lot number of ammunition. They test like 8 different lots, and then they email you with the most promising group and lot number, and then you have to buy a minimum of 5,000 rounds of your choice. So I'm going to go with Lapua Center X. Lapua.
see La Pua. You can't go through that whole process and then just buy 50 rounds.
No.
They're like, you're an idiot. Are the orders pouring in for the bad MF man bags? Conservative sniper hunter asks.
Yes, they are. It actually exceeded our expectations when we figured there would be a need for it. But just, you know, the outreach of everybody, I mean, I really appreciate it, guys. But we actually had to boost the initial order to 100 pieces because after that chat that night, by that evening, we had already pretty much fulfilled the 60. So we bumped it up to 100 the next day. And we stopped by the facility. They were cutting all the panels. Everything was looking really good, really nice. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Tim Davis wants to know where my mask is. Look at that.
I know where you got that.
Yeah, I know exactly where I got it. That's why I wanted to show it off. Let's see here. Let's catch up. Might be learning something like we always do with the great man. The so you talked about it a little bit on a chat, maybe a couple chats ago, maybe the last chat. And when it came to ammo, barrel lengths for 22 long rifle.
Yes.
Did you have so you had talked to somebody that worked at the company, correct?
This is actually somebody that was really high up at Ely. And basically, okay, so guys, so, you know, you might see like pistol match ammunition and, you know, rifle match. Is there a difference? What's the difference? You know, I've heard people say, oh man, I shoot this pistol match ammo on my rifle and it shoots lights out. And it can. However, it's not designed to do that. The way it was explained to me, and I'd never thought of it in these terms before, guys, because this rimfire stuff is still relatively, you know, new to all of us, or new to me anyway, for this type of shooting. And the way it was explained is they actually changed the powder for burn rates for pistol or rifle based on barrel length. So if you're shooting, let's say a pistol, they'll optimize that to burn all the powder within 4 to 5 inches of barrel length. So what they're saying is if you put that pistol match ammunition into a longer barrel, such as a rifle, it's burning all of it within 4 to 5 inches. It's going, and then it's starting to slow down, even though you might only have, you know, a 20-inch barrel. Now, what I was told is there's a lot of different variations of Ely 10X. You know, they have the EPS and all this other stuff, but that's actually optimized for a 26-inch barrel. it's not supposed to completely burn until it gets 26 inches of barrel. So, shooting Ely 10X and let's say your pistol, it's not getting much of a burn at all. And it's still, I mean, you're going to have a lot of unburnt powder. So it was really intriguing to hear all of this because I never thought about it that way. I mean, yeah, guys, if you shoot 5.56 out of your 7-inch AR, you're going to have a lot of unburnt powder. That's why you get that big plume. But imagine if you went with a powder that wasn't detrimental to velocity or anything else, but your burn rate is such that it burns it in that full 7 inches. So you're maximizing it. So yeah, I learned a lot about pistol, or not pistol, but 22 rimfire. That's it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because I've never heard that before, and it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. So running a faster powder, especially in a pistol, because you got to get it burned before basically you're running a blowtorch, and you're wasting it all. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Tim Davis, to answer that question, you are mandatory per the department. And how it works is, at least out here, our department is if you are anywhere within inside of a building, you got to wear one of these. If you are walking around, if there's other people around or somebody opens the door and comes in right now to talk to me, I have to put this on. And social distancing, the 6 feet thing. So yeah, there's a lot of rules, but my employer says to do it, and normally I'm kind of an anti-masker when I'm not at work. Hate wearing these things, but they pay the bills. So in order to be a good supervisor, you got to lead by example, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, Brian. So Brian commented on the 300 blackout. He said if you were into 300 blackout, you'd be familiar with this concept. And I am. I do know that 300 blackout, you're going to achieve a full burn and maximum pressure somewhere around 8 inches out of the barrel. That's why the gas tubes are where they're located. I actually keep a 300 blackout very close by. Rick knows what I'm talking about. So,
Yep.
yeah, I like the round, but I like it for different reasons. I just like the versatility of being able to have something so quiet when I want it to be shooting like 220s.
All right, Talking Rock at 7:17 had a question. I jumped up here because I remember there was a question out there. Which chassis, if you're buying today? Do you have a favorite yet, Ray?
I do. By far, hands down, no questions asked. My favorite chassis is the XLR Industries. Plain and simple. I've had a chance to play with the MBTs. I don't think an AI chassis is something that you're going to see on a lot of guns. I mean, I'm talking about more PRS style. A lot of I think the Marine Corps actually chose the AI chassis with a modified Remington 700 action. They're like a Bartlein barrel for their next rifle. But for the competitions that we're doing, whether it's rimfire or whether it's BRS style or whatever, I'm going to stick with XLR. The XLR Industries, the quality on it, you can just tell. You can just tell. The analogy that some people say, all right, when you close the door on a Toyota and it sounds real tinny or what, I'm not making fun of a Toyota, but you just hear these analogies. Oh man, when you close the door on this car, it just feels solid. The XLR
I've said that before. I've said that before, and I drive a Toyota.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I did as well, but just comparing what's out there, and I know you guys can name a ton of different other stocks that the quality is up there. Like some of the KDX defenses and things like that. I mean, those are nice chassis, but I'm just talking about for what you see out there. I'm happy with the XLR. They're just impossible to get right now.
Yeah, like pretty much every other thing out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did Brandon figured out his rifle for his new Voodoo coming, right? And that is the MPA tungsten.
He went with the MPA, the BA custom, very similar to yours. You have the BA hybrid. And I really like the Manners chassis. Not Manners, sorry, the MPA chassis a lot. But if I have the choice and somebody's asking me what my favorite is, I'm still going to have to give it to XLR.
Yeah, the one thing I would say that I wish MPA did on their magwell is it's angled back a lot. So the mag's coming in on this side. So when you're going to push into a barricade, it's not really like a vertical, where it's going to bump up against something. And it may be designed like this for a purpose, but it has an angle to it. So if you got to bump into something, it wants to do that, I guess, compared to something that was going to basically like the XLR and my MDT is a lot more up and down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can you highlight Richard Stevens' comment for just a moment? Because, see, I was under this impression as well, Mr. Stevens. And what he asks is basically 22s are optimized to burn the barrel or to burn up completely around 18 inches. And if you watch any of Voodoo's videos with those guys talking, that's what they're saying, 18 to 20 inches. But when you're talking to someone directly from Ely who's saying, no, it's optimized for 26 inches, and you see all these guys that are shooting Ely 10X, and that's going to be Rick. It's not me. Hold on, we'll give it a second. So when you hear this information that it's actually optimized for 26-inch barrels, then it makes you wonder. And so that was straight from the source, guys. So, because matter of fact, you guys were shooting Ely 10X that I had, right, Rick?
Yeah.
And you were shooting it on an 18-inch barrel. You weren't getting a full burn. Something to think about.
It was working well, except for them stages I wasn't hitting anything.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying is we might be measuring with micrometers and cutting with chainsaws here. It probably works well enough for what we're trying to do. But, yeah, it's not optimized for an 18-inch barrel, and you're not getting a full burn regardless of what they say if you're shooting, let's say, Ely 10X. But there's a lot of different variations of it.
See, and that's the thing. So now I have heard that the optimal barrel length, where your barrel's not too short and not too long, where you're getting past where the speed, basically the friction of your barrel is now actually slowing down the bullet because it's so long. Now it's basically ran out of powder and it's kind of not dragging, but you know what I mean? It's not gaining any velocity.
Yeah.
As is right in the 18-20 inch. We've talked about this, but now you got Ely saying.
Now this is specifically their 10X. So 45 Auto says all 22 ammo or just 10X or all 10X. This is just the 10X EPS that you're going to see a lot of your Olympic shooters shooting. That's what that was designed for. So, I mean, yeah, it works great in my CZ. It works great in the Voodoo, but I'm going to stick with the Cinerex for now. It's cheaper by quite a bit, and I don't know where the gain would be for me doing that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. You're really not wanting, depending on what ammo you're shooting, you're really not wanting to even gain velocity, because if you're right at the threshold of going supersonic, right?
Yeah, you want to be somewhere around 1070 is what I've been seeing. That's kind of like the number.
Everything.
Yeah, you want to stay subsonic, 1070. And, somebody else commented about the Cadillac XLR. I'm not familiar with that chassis. I'm just talking about their upper end. I mean, guys, you got to think about it. Almost every company doesn't want to just have high-end stuff. If they're really big in the market, they're going to try to appeal to all people. I mean, just any business. Think about it. That's why BMW doesn't just sell 7 Series and 6 Series. They have to do a 1 Series, and they were losing so much of that younger market segment. That's why that 1 Series was birthed. Because they wanted to compete against the Infinities and the Nissans, their higher end cars, and so they had to get something at that same price point because they were losing that market. A smart business will do that. Think about it. You can't just name a gun manufacturer. You can't just have everything that's stupid, crazy expensive. You got to offer something that will appeal to.
I don't know. I think
masses.
Voodoo. What does Voodoo have that's cheap?
They don't, but they really only offer that one action, but they do have the single shot. But what I mean is somebody that's doing the whole gamut of things. I mean, you can buy,
gotcha.
you can buy an entry pistol, an entry level pistol for $500-$600, but then you can get a custom model that's $1,500 or $2,000. whatever the case is. I mean, whether you're talking about cars, knife manufacturers, not everybody's going to carry a $500-600 knife. You got to get to that price point where, hey, that's affordable.
Yeah, let me answer the Outlaw Josie Wales here. He says, did Matt basically order a complete voodoo rifle or just the action? He got a barreled action. He has the chassis is in another rifle that's actually being sent back to him, I think.
Yeah, his is an XLR as well.
It
But
is.
yeah, he got a barreled action just like I did. Guys, I didn't buy it with the XLR. I had an XLR JV MV Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. That's about a $1,300 setup because you're looking at a full chassis setup with the weights. Guys, weights are really expensive, but it comes with everything. I mean, I had the thumb rest, all of that. That's the exact same chassis that Matt's shooting. And so you're going to have Matt and I pretty much shooting the same platform, and then you and Brandon pretty much shooting the same platform for the most part.
Yeah. Is he shooting a, what is it, kookery?
The kookery barrel?
Yeah.
Who, Matt?
No, Brandon.
I'm not sure. He's actually trying to decide. I said he'll be happy either way.
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be great for sure. Let's see. Abigail's going to bed. Have a good night. We got Andrew the gun guy out there. So hello. Drew Bradley. Your friendly neighborhoods out there. And Stephen Bradley. Yeah, so I was like, man, I'm excited because I got 4 more days left. What's today? 12th. Getting closer.
Yeah, Ella actually asked about you today. Minnie X, she was like, where's Rick? I haven't seen Rick in a couple days. He mad at you? I was like, no, he's in California. And she's like, oh, okay. I thought he was done. I said, no, he hasn't retired yet.
No, almost. They are both good quality. The let's see here. There are so many different types of 22 LR ammunition out there. Design of different applications, so the optimum barrel length burn rates vary widely.
Yes, that's the takeaway.
That is the takeaway. And that's the reason why these people are making ammo for so much. They even have polar ammo for super cold, extreme winter, like sub-zero 30 degrees kind of stuff. So a lot of those biathlons or whatever they're called that are running around with skis on, they run around.
Yeah, it's actually called polar biathlon, and I think Fiocchi also makes a winter. It's called Winter.
Okay.
And it's for that purpose.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I started reading some of their information online. And I'm like, man, it makes perfect sense. I mean, but it's funny.
I actually did some shooting today. Casey came by. He just picked him up a 17 Winchester short magnum, and he wanted me to help him get his ATN and thermal installed on it. And so I did our little trick, and I took a Diet Coke bottle and I put some hot water in it, like boiling water, so it would give him a signature during the day. And we had that thing dialed in just a moment because I know he was wanting to shoot tonight. You should have seen his talk about gunsmith. It was more like blacksmith. He shows up, and the ATN cross bolts for the mount would not fit in between the Picatinny for the 1913 that's on top of his rifle. And I was like, look, dude, this isn't going to work. He goes, man, I want to hunt with this thing tonight. And I said, okay, well, the only option is I don't have time to go to the shop or anything else. We can take a bastard file and open it up to 0.50, or I think it was 0.050 or something like that. And he goes, let's do it. I said, all right. So we file away, take it on a set of calipers, file away a little more. And, because you'll never see it because the scope covers it up. And we actually painted it so it wouldn't rust over. But we had them all dialed in. He's like, I want to hunt with this. Huh?
What did you file?
Okay, so his 17 Winchester short magnum, he was looking for something very lightweight to put this night vision, this thermal on, ATN thermal, one of the Thors. And it came with this, it's a Savage action, so it had the Savage each little block. It looks like a 1 inch by 1 inch block. and
Okay.
they would not go on there. And you couldn't use a conventional set of rings because an ATN is really long. So it has a cantilever front, but a fixed ring in the rear. They would not latch on. And so I was like, hey, if you want to do it, we can do it. But I take no responsibility for this. I said, but we
Oh,
can
that's
do it.
freaking
It'll
awesome.
work. He said, let's do it. It's like, all righty. While he started on that, I said, go ahead and go on Amazon. Go ahead and get you a full length rail. That way you've got the full use of the top. And he went ahead and ordered that here like on Tuesday, I think. But he wanted to hunt with it tonight.
Andrew says, where'd it go? He had a ton of 22 long rifle. Where's it at? Russian something or other. Oh, 50,000 rounds of Russian junior match on hand.
Who's that? Andrew, gun guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how that shoots.
I don't know.
That Russian stuff is good. You know, the wolf match.
Yeah, I heard great things
well.
about that. Maybe Andrew will let us try out a box. Steve wants to know if I decide to sell the Ruger to hit him up. Welcome, Steve. Appreciate that. And maybe we'll see. Like a dream, he said. Shoots like a dream. Let's see. It's outside lubed. Conservative sniper hunter. Love wolf match. Yep. Let's see. I think I just subbed to the channel today. Was watching 6.5 PRC info and like that. How it was. Commentary easy to learn from. Hit them.
Yeah, I can't read comments because I'm driving right now, and I've got. If I put the lights on, you're not gonna be able to see me anyway. You just see a shadow. But
Don't you crash.
No, I'm not even looking at the camera. But I'm getting ready to turn on this road that has zero service, so I will come back
Yeah, I
in
know
about
where you're
15
at.
minutes. How's that? All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
I'll be back on in a bit.
All right, let's get out here to some questions. Let's see if we got any questions first off. Sniper Side. Yeah, Drew. Stephen Bradley says, Drew, check out Sniper Side. Tons and tons of great information on Sniper Side. It is a lot of people go there to get some answers and a lot of great information for sure. So definitely check out Sniper Side. Let's see what else. Proper Picatinny slot spacing. 0.118. Pick wall thickness is 188. Spaces. Shaggy Rifleman. Get it right, my friend. Let's see. Ray needs a heads-up display on the windshield. Yeah. Well, the problem is his service sucks, so it wouldn't have mattered. If Biden becomes president, are you worried he might end the purchase of primers? Yibeshi. Yibechi. Am I saying that right? There's a good question. I think there's like 2 or 3 U.S. companies, if I remember correctly, and then most of the stuff is outsourced from other countries, which it's kind of like all our medical supplies are outsourced from other countries. Not so much a good idea. I know the EPA basically, the smelting basically cracked down on the smelting. So as far as we're only allowed to make so many here in the United States. And we're limited to that, whatever that number is. I don't know exactly what it is. What bipod do you run on the Tika? Steve says, I run the Atlas, the 46. Great scope. Great bipod. I would say, though, if I was to do it all over again, now that I know what I know, and I had some extra money laying around, I would get the freaking SkyPod, the double. Thing's amazing, but they're pricey as hell. No one should ever have to pay that much for a bipod, but after you use one, you're like, now I know why. All right, so ordered the Ark and scope today. Nice. 7 to 9 weeks back order. Holy crap, Big D. That's a long time. But at least you got it going. It's kind of like waiting for a suppressor to show up. At least it's on its way. Just takes a while. Smile, Rick. You're almost done and retired from California. Then it's all over. No more Cali traveling. Yeah, Drew. I put in my letter of. Actually, I have it right here. Can't really show you, but did the whole letter thing and sent it off to the people that needed it, and it's kind of a weird, sad moment there for a second. I guess I don't know. I don't know if you can really plan for retirement. You can have your stuff in order and all that, but at the end of the day, you miss out on, all these people. At least most of them. There's a few new employees, but I've known them forever. I mean, the one captain here working here today actually was my fireman back in the day, 100 years ago, and great guy. But yeah, I mean, these young kids, they come in and now they got kids and wives and all sorts of crazy shit, and it's crazy how you see them all grow up and their kids grow up, and it's one big kind of family deal. So yeah, that's the saddest part is basically leaving your compadres. So unfortunately, but at some point, you gotta say, I ain't driving, I ain't flying no more. Nobody got time for that. Tomorrow I'll be buying 5,000 rounds of CCI standard 22 LR. I figured it'd be good to grab them while they are still available. Yeah, Conservative Sniper, if you have the ability to grab them, I would definitely grab them for sure. Only 4 primer manufacturers, and yes. Okay, so I was off by 1. Thanks. 4 primer manufacturers. I'm going to send a care package to Isyour6covered Global Headquarters. I need your address. I'll if you can send me a quick email, I will respond with it, Thomas. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had DW had sent me a cool record that was all cut out. I'm sure most of you guys had seen it. It was pretty awesome. It's got Glocks and AKs and a soldier on it, cut into an actual record. So really cool vinyl record. So that was neat. Now it's a clock. I don't know what the band was. It was, but because it was covered up, but damn cool now. So Talking Rock says he retired 5 years ago and missed the people. Yeah, that's the part that I'm going to miss the most. Actually, that one captain I was telling you about is he's a cool dude. He's working here today. Vanessa Kitty's in the house. What platform do you think George Washington would have? What platform do you think George? I don't know. What's up? Charles Tiffy's in here. Evening, fellas. Powder Valley has Varget, H4350 and H4895 in stock. Very nice. So you got a 6 to 24 with 50 first focal plane scope. That's nice. Let's see. Drew Bradley, mate. I'm Sydney, Australia. Yeah, we got who else is out there from past the United States? The other night, it was probably like, I guess it wasn't the other night because I haven't been on here in a while, but there's people from all over. It was pretty cool. Todd Schmidt, how you doing? Eric. Let's see. George would have an M60. You guys had asked something about, the Polymer 80 deals and the basically the ATF kind of running into the businesses and trying to get basically to find out all the people that had purchased those. And I'll tell you what, they need to if you wanted to defund somebody, that would be who I'd say defund. They're not following by the rules. You're allowed to make your own stuff. Just because I guess what had happened, at least what I had heard, was they went somewhere, there was a crime or whatever, and somebody had basically made one of those, and I don't know if it was a murder or whatever the case was. And then that kind of put out the feelers, and now they're really getting crazy with it. So, but it is still legal to, let's see, we got The X-ring has landed back in there. Chris Winsett's here. Can you hear? Nope. Okay, he'll be back. Let's see. Which model did you order, Big D? Buy the cheapest. If she don't eat steel, she don't deserve brass. Yeah, there's a lot of people that shoot steel. And you know what? It's good stuff if that's all you got. I'm not a huge fan of steel, but I would love it if that's all I had. So, Chris Winsett, what was the question? I got a quote from Pro Labs today, $1,500 for incomplete model. And can you hear me? I hear your button clicking. Just say test or something.
It's good. It's working now.
Okay, I was gonna say it should be working. So, without getting too political, polymer 80s. Did you hear about any of that?
I did hear about that, and I wasn't too thrilled to hear about that.
No, because it is perfectly legal to build your own and pistol, Glock style pistol, and it's unfortunate that now they're basically utilizing that company to figure out who they purchased or who purchased from them, and now you can basically say you could call it a registration. Unfortunately,
yeah. So the very first time I ever saw, and I'm not talking about like your ARs like 80% lowers. I'm talking about pistols. I saw them in Charlotte, and I didn't know how it worked. And I saw it in the cabinet, and I asked the guy about it, and he goes, "Oh, this is a huge problem." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Dude, there's guys that come in here that I don't want to be careful. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Basically, he goes, I know that they cannot purchase a gun legally. Period. He goes, I just know it.
yeah. So you have felons, people that are really not able to purchase a firearm through the normal steps are circumventing with the 80s.
Correct. And I saw that possibly being a problem. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, but what if a bunch of people were, and I'm just asking, I'm not playing sides here, but what if people who were not legally able to get a pistol were using that to get pistols? I mean, you can see the issue with that, right? Or do you?
No,
I'm
I'm
not picking sides. I'm just asking.
No, for sure. I think there's two trains of thought, right?
Yeah.
And not so much from me, but from people. You go and you do the crime, you do the time, and now you should be basically given your rights back, right? And then you have this was a class 1 felony, whatever, blah blah blah, and now you've lost those rights forever. Is one way right or wrong? It depends who you are and how you think mentally. Now, would you be pissed if your family got killed from some bad guy that just got out of jail, wasn't able to get a gun? The biggest thing is a bad guy can go buy a gun that's been stolen off the black market anyways. So that's really not.
But now it's not. He's not having to source it. He just goes to the gun store,
Yeah,
and he buys it. And the thing is he's not buying, one of these old, ROMs that's an old German pistol from 1950. That's a 22 long rifle that might or might not work. He's actually probably buying something that's equivalent to a Glock that is pretty darn reliable. Other than having the pins drilled, that he can do at his house in 15 minutes, and it's a way to circumvent, having any type of. All he's got to do is have a little bit of money,
And you guys, I mean, I don't know what it's like in your states. I don't know where you guys are all listening from, but in North Carolina, I know first-degree murder, you're going to serve about 9 to 10 years. That's about it. And you're going to be back out. So let's say you made a bad judgment call at 19 or 20 years old, whatever the case is, and you first, I mean, just flat out kill somebody, murder somebody, and you serve your 10 years. You know, and you're out here 30 years old, all of a sudden, hey, I can't have a firearm, but I'm going to go on. You know, that word will spread like wildfire too. You know, hey, you just go over here to this and buy this. It's not even considered a gun; it's a kit. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I got your text. Appreciate the heads up, and you always help me out, my friend. Yeah, so there it is. Now, let's get back to that. Probably happens. That happens probably quite a bit. So, ATF. We should probably change the subject, but ATF basically going to get that information from a company would be basically like registration. That's not even really the word I'm looking for. I guess registration for basically coming to take your firearms. They're basically gathering all the information and could come get your firearms. Now, I watched one channel that said that there was actually a gentleman that had been, ATF had gone to their door and basically knew that he had, whatever he had, 80% pistol, and they wanted it. He told them to come back with a warrant and so on and so forth. But yeah, you could, is it lawful of ATF to be able to do that? I don't believe so, but I don't know. Some may differ. I don't know. ABC.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't. You guys know how I feel about the whole NFA and all that. I don't. They should not have any say so. I don't believe we should have to register suppressors or machine guns or any of that other stuff. We found ourselves where we're at. That happened before our time. I would think most everyone's time before anybody that's watching, unless you're really, really old. But we deal with it. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've never done an 80% lower AR or pistol. I've always got it the way I'm supposed to get it. And, went through the proper channels, and, I have an FFL, I have an SOT and all of that. And, I think almost everyone's figured that out by now, but yeah, I could see that being an issue. And, just like when Obama got the whole trust thing redone, there was an issue with that. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but, you used to be able to get a trust and you could just put anybody's name on it. And the problem with that is there were these guys that, let's say they bought a piece of property and they started their own little gun range. They'd say, all right, well, it's $500 a year. Well, what do I get for $500 a year? Well, this gun range has got an FFL SOT, and we've got suppressors, and we've got machine guns, and we'll add you to the trust. And this is why the ATF and Obama and that whole administration changed all of this, where you can't just do that now. Everybody that's on that trust now has to get fingerprinted, photographed, the same paperwork, because there was literally a few clubs that had hundreds of people on their membership roster that had access to these machine guns and suppressors without any background check. You're relying on basically the gun club to do that, and they're not doing it. And so that was a big issue. That's why that changed. So, I think a lot of this happens as a result of people taking advantage of a situation, and they're looking at it as, well, we're trying to protect, that's the way they're always going to look at it, right? We're trying to protect
even if they're
people.
going to pretend they are, even if they're not.
Yeah, exactly. And it just opens the doors. I mean, here lately, the ATF, with them doing everything on the braces and the honey badger and all this, geez, it's starting to get worse and worse, and not a good thing at all. I don't like the way the direction the country's going. I think it's only going to get worse. And
Yeah,
we talked
exactly.
about it before without getting political. That day's coming, I think, and we got to be ready.
Yep. Carcade says they were determined to get the gun regardless of the law, so they were always going to get it, whether it was stolen or home built. If they get caught, they'll get punished accordingly. The problem is at least in California, it seems like the laws have gotten so weak. I mean, they voted, it was a couple elections ago, just some crazy stuff like arson, and drive-by shootings, and there was one other thing. It was like sex while drugged or something. It was like not even, they were barely minor crimes. I'm just like, why would anybody vote for this stuff? So it seems like the people are very lenient when it comes to bad people, and us good law-abiding citizens,
We're the
they
ones that are punished.
want to put the hammer down on us for some reason. So Brian Duchesne says it's called illegal search and seizure, a violation of our rights. I agree, Brian, for sure. I mean, going in, breaking into the store, not breaking in, but busting in and getting all the information is definitely a illegal search and seizure. Your door, wanting your stuff, basically asking for it in a very, give me your stuff without a warrant. Basically trying to bully you at the door, doesn't cut it. Make them go through and get the judge to sign a freaking warrant. One world government, conservative sniper hunter says. Let's see.
Well, and I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know all the specifics of the case, only what I've been able to kind of gather. I mean, is there more to this? Because I know there's been some big gun manufacturers that have been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Did they have anything on these guys? I mean, because it's been legal for years and years. Did something happen?
Well,
You guys remember
Eris.
no, before then, way before then, it wasn't Samson. It started with an S. Saber Defense. Saber Defense was busted for exporting. I think they were M16s or machine ARs. They were, they were exporting like pallet loads overseas.
Oh.
I think it was Saber Defense. I'm not going to be able to say any names on this, but it was brought to my attention. I mean, when you're in the machine gun world and everything else, and I'm sure we have some FFL SOT holders here, but if you have, okay, just think of it this way. You have fully transferable machine guns, okay? Those are the ones that anybody can get, but you got to do the paperwork and you got to have a lot of money, okay? And here's a perfect example. An HK MP5 that's fully transferable is going to run you somewhere between $35,000 to $40,000. Okay, as long as you got the pocketbook, you're a doctor or a brain surgeon or whatever. And those are the guys that are usually having these things. Go on HK Pro or Sturmgewehr and go watch, and you'll see. But these are the guys that are buying it. They have the pocketbook, they have the money to afford it, and they buy them. But pre-86, they also had pre-samples. Okay, now pre-samples is what we refer to as keepers. That same HKMP5 that's not fully transferable, it's only transferable to an FFL SOT holder. A keeper is a sample that was made for military or police previous to 86, May 86, I think it was. You'll get that same gun for about $13,500 to $14,000. But if you ever lose or close business of your FFL SOT, you as the owner can retain that machine gun. It's legal. Okay. Now, after May of 86, everything that's a dealer or a post-dealer sample, you must have a law letter or what they call a demo letter. And that would be from any agency that is requesting a demonstration of that firearm for the reasons of, their SWAT team needs them and they just want a demonstration or whatever. That's the only way you can transfer or obtain a post-86 dealer sample. That same HKMP5 will cost you about $3,000. Okay. The only problem with a post sample is if you lose your FFL SOT, then you have to transfer that to another FFL SOT holder after the close of business. And you have a certain amount of time to do that.
You have to sell it, right?
Yeah, or it has to be transferred. Whether you sell it for a win, loss, whatever, give it away, you've got to get rid of it. You forfeit the right of that. Correct.
Gotcha.
And it's a lot of paperwork. You're going to have an inspection. You know, they're going to go in and check your books. And the ATF has gotten really, really strict on that. My whole point of this is there were some people that were implicated and charged a couple of years ago for being in cahoots with certain agencies, purchasing firearms that were post samples. And let's say the agency needed, I don't know, 10 for their SWAT team. They'd order 20, put the 10 in storage, and then 3 years later, they're popping up as post-dealer samples, and they're parting the guns out that were never, ever used. And people went to jail for this. You cannot do that.
Yeah, a
you've
demo
got
gun that's brand new in the box and never fired is not a demo gun.
Correct. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want to, be listing any names, but some big people went down on this. If you guys know, I think, even the owner of hkparts.net, he was popped and then he was warned and then he got popped again. And anyway, long story short, I think he did jail time or is doing jail time now. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. You got to play by those rules. There's a lot to know.
Is KB in here? People are
saying,
saying,
KB's in here.
I don't see his comment for some reason. Oh, there he is right there. What's up, Mr. Coda Boy? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We got Riding the Waves out there. How you doing? Good videos lately, Coda Boy. So are you saying his other videos weren't good? Just kidding. The past 75 years, the USA has consumed everybody else's resources while hardly ever touching our own, leaving the U.S. exceptionally powerful soil that the citizens fight to keep it from foreign takeover. Let's see. You will have a Form 1 and a P80. Well, and see, like in California, not the reason why the 80%ers came out, but back in the early, what would it be, like 90s? I'm trying to think of when the Brady Bill and all that stuff had passed. And then the whole AR-15s in California basically got shut down. There was like a date of a certain amount, and if you didn't have an AR before that date, you were basically screwed and weren't able to have one for a while. And then the 80%ers hit the market, and we were basically building our own and making our own bullet buttons to keep everything legal, where you had to cut off half the button and cut down the post of the threaded part, and you had to have a tool in order to jam it in there to get the mag to fall out. And it was just these crazy things, but in order to have one at the time, that was the only way to get around it. So people like ARs, so they're going to figure out ways to be able to get them. People like Glocks, and they figure out a way to get them. The problem is, like in California, you can only have the third gen. You can't have any of the newer stuff because it's off the roster. There's this crazy, stupid roster if you're not familiar with, but the lack of
didn't Glock just address that and introduce the Gen 1 again?
I think they were working on, as long as they didn't change anything.
Yeah, I think that's the reason. Very smart marketing. And everybody's like, if you think of it from us as being shooters, like, why in the hell would you come up with a Gen 1 again? Well, there's a backstory to that. There's a reason. If it's on the roster and it's unchanged, guess what? That opens a whole market to California again.
Yeah, there's actually something they can buy again. Yeah, that was some of the frustrating parts. That was some of the biggest. That was partially some of the reasons why I had to move, because I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, you and I were talking to someone out in California, and they actually commented they saw a Gen 3 Glock 19 go for, it was like $1,600 or $1,700.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
you remember? And,
Yeah.
all of us were like, what? That's a $500 pistol. And you know what?
We could
People
buy-
will pay
could buy
insane
3 of
money to be able to, hey, a SIG 365. So that's not on the roster in California. So if you're in California, you can't get that pistol unless, let's say, a law enforcement officer purchases it because he has an exception because he's special. No, because he can, carry it as off duty or whatever. But then he can then turn that around. And you did a chat on this a long time ago. You did a video on it. Because they could actually sell that, and that pistol will go for $1,000 to $1,200 because it's in legally into the state
all day long.
all day long. That's right. And I can't imagine living under those laws, but who knows? Maybe that's what they're going to try to do across the country. I'd hate to see that, but hopefully we won't let them.
I know. Let's see.
What do we do? They're already doing it, all over.
Oh, type it in there. I'm supposed to be wearing my mask right now, so I'm being a very bad supervisor. But he has his mask on, so that helps. Let's see. I have a line of Leos who want to have ARs now. People are coming out of the woodworks to get their hands on firearms. Yeah, no, I had done a video, which was the one Ray was talking about, and he's like, he agreed with some of it and didn't agree with some of it. But I was just getting frustrated because, like Ray said, you buy a $500 Glock, and then this guy's turning around and making an additional $1,000 off it. And then, he's buying 2 more, and it's basically a straw purchase at that point to me because he's not buying it. And then he's going, oh, this trigger sucks. And you know what? I don't like this, and I'm going to sell it. It's straight up like.
Tim David, I got to answer this because he's saying, X-Ring, why can police officers as individuals buy or possess automatic firearms? They cannot. They cannot. Those are owned by the agency, and they can only have those if that agency has issued them that. But if they are terminated or no longer work with that agency, they can't. They have to turn that back in. As a matter of fact, usually the only officers I know that are given automatic weapons that I've seen in the past have been somebody that's on an SRT unit or a SWAT team unit for whatever reason that they need them, because you guys know as well as I do. I mean, it's harder to control something that's full auto. But no, they can't possess them as individuals. Not unless they have an FFL SOT.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of that too. So, you have what they call a dealer in firearms. Then you have a manufacturer in firearms. There's different levels of the SOT for the tax that we have to pay every year. It's not like an FFL where you pay it every 3 years.
Yeah, each year you're getting hit with that for sure. Drew Bradley says, "Wow, $1,600." Yeah, and the worst part is I can see their frustration, and I can see them going, "You know what? I want this gun. I'm actually gonna, save up and buy this gun that costs 1/3 of what I'm having to pay for it." But if you were gonna shoot competitively and you wanted the new what's that new SIG that came out that everybody's shooting? Pops Quest and all those guys. Coda Boy 32 shooting one too. What the hell is that called? The SIG. Great pistol.
Yeah, Shaggy Rifleman, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, buddy. He says, don't forget, most agencies don't even use automatic weapons. They don't have them. They don't have a need for them. If you probably looked at all the agencies across the entire country, yeah, you're probably right. But I think you would be amazed at how many small agencies have machine guns. I've worked with a ton of different agencies, and there was an agency not too far from here where they were issuing freaking Glock 18s to their SWAT guys. Why in the hell do you need a Glock 18 on a SWAT team? And that was their duty sidearm, and they carried it when they were working, like normal road patrol. Okay, because just because somebody SWAT. Oh yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean,
hey, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just go ahead and have a 30-round mag we can dump in about 1.8 seconds. I mean, come on, really? And somebody else saw it that way as well, and they were told to get rid of all of them, and they sold all of them. And so there was this flood of Glock 18s that came out from that agency, and everybody was trying to scarf them up because that's a really hard one to get. But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, Bill Sweeney. Thanks, Bill Sweeney. The X5 Legion. Yeah. See, Bill Sweeney's paying attention. You're not paying attention. Coda Boy's not paying attention. But we got Bill Sweeney. Definitely help hooking it up. Glock 19 with 5 mags on their vest. Rick is giving away. Is Rick giving away any prizes today? The belt. Oh, yeah, that's my damn phone in my computer is linked to it for text. I got to keep that on because I'm working, so I need to know when the next call is or whatever. All right, so what was your question? Yeah,
I didn't have a question.
Oh, just the ammo.
Oh.
The new ammo rule in California. I think that's what their thoughts are on it.
All right, so what are your guys' thoughts on the new ammo rule? Go ahead and keep going.
In California.
So you're talking about no mailing to your house kind of
No
thing?
mailing to your house.
Got to have a
background check.
Got to have a background check for ammo.
Like me, I live in unincorporated Riverside County, but I just got incorporated by the city of Menifee.
Now, is it a city thing or a county thing?
So what happened is when I went to go purchase ammunition,
now they're texting me just so they can hear their damn phone ring. Oh, you guys are out of control. Don't make me.
Pew, pew, pew. I've got that phone down.
Yes, you do. Man, my phone is getting blasted right now. I got it on. I silenced that one, so I'm probably going to miss a call and have to. Todd Schmidt says it's bullshit. I have to agree with you, Todd Schmidt. So here's more to the story than what we were talking about. But okay, so I live in California, say, and I want ammo. Well, normally I need a background check in order to pick up a pistol or a rifle, and I'm only allowed one every month, or I can only pick up one firearm every month or some crap like that, which is just stupid. But when I buy ammo, I basically have to get a background check again. So I call Midway USA, and I have to give them the FFL, which is basically wherever gun shop. So it's like me basically buying a firearm, but all it is a box of ammunition. It goes, and I have to give them the FFL for that place that it's getting shipped to. And then you have to pay extra. So you have to get. Do you have to get a card or something?
no, you just have to do a spot background check.
Spot background check.
It's $1 each time.
$1 each time. California's so retarded. Red October says, and I gotta agree.
And then, like for me, it is a $15 10-day background check right now.
$15 10-day, not on ammo.
Yes, because
Oh, you got a 10-day, so a 10-day wait on ammo,
that's
like
what
for a rifle and a pistol.
That's what Sportsman's Warehouse just told me, because what happened is
Oh my God, it's crazy.
my city was incorporated by, or my area was incorporated by the city of Menifee. My driver's license says Romoland. So when they did my spot background
Show
check,
yourself. Who's talking? I can't show him. He's all in uniform, and it says our department on it all over the place. So you just gotta deal with it.
So when I did my spot background check, it came up that my address did not match the address that the gun was purchased at because the city had a different name. So now I have to go through and either A, buy a new firearm at the address that I'm at, B, go through their website and change all my firearms to the current address that it's supposed to be, or C, seek legal representation. And I'm like, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Man, no, you're not a law-abiding citizen according to everybody in California. So you got to wait 10 days to get ammo. All I got out of this was, so if you don't know, and this has been the case in the shitty state of California for a long time, you have to, they called it a cool-off period. So it was to save people from running in, grabbing a gun, and then going commit some heinous crime. And then I said, okay, what if you already have a firearm? So like if I was I was gonna get mad and enraged, and I'm gonna run to a gun store and do some type of illegal activity. Wouldn't I already just go do that because I already have a firearm? Why should I have to wait 10 days now? And they all agreed with it at the gun shop, but that wasn't the case. And you waited your 10 days anyways because you're just the average Joe like everybody else. And but now, and I don't know how long this has been out, but now you have a cooling off period for ammo as well. So, gee, I don't understand this. The concept is stupid. I understand why they're coming up with all these rules to find some ways to get extra money to help pay for basically all the free bullshit we give around this state to all the people that don't deserve it. But that's one of their ways they were coming up with money. But now you got to wait 10 days to get ammo as well. Wow, it's freaking amazing.
Well, not always though. If your address is right, you can do it in one.
So if you do it in the same day, I can go buy it. See, now you're making me tell shit that's not even true.
It's just because my address is jacked up. So now it's on, instead of it being on the state to have their system correct.
Yeah, it's because you have your license doesn't match your thing.
That's bullcrap though.
Oh, it is bullcrap. It shouldn't even matter. I can't go right now and buy ammo because I have the wrong license. I have a out of state license. So what if I wanted to go hunting in California? Like, and I can't buy ammo? That's bullshit. I have heard that before, so I'm not saying you had said that. I'm just saying I have heard that. I would just whip out my badge and tell him to give me my bullets, bitch. Did you know if you buy more than, what's up, Shutout 8888? If you buy more than one firearm per month, you are 2,000% more likely to commit some heinous crime in the city. Yeah, exactly. Just these people are just idiots out here. What else? What the hell is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What up, TV? No wonder all the Californians are moving to Texas. That's another thing too. Be scared of these people moving to Texas. They're fed up with all the bullshit. Now they're gonna go move, and then they're gonna try to enact all the same bullshit at their new place they moved to. Not all of them. Some are cool. Some are idiots. What up, Todd Schmidt? Look at you. You're in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell Ray look like took my comment about what the hell? Tell Ray to look at my comment about pick size. And we don't want them here. Yeah, Brian T. There's a couple cool ones. Avid hunters. I know this guy when he wants to plan on one day moving to Montucky because that's where his family's at. But they're big hunters. Big hunters. And question for X. Red October's got a question for X. But yeah, there's a lot of people screwing up other states that are coming from here. And I could see why
Ramsey Country, the bags are being made as we speak. I visited, Sam and I went and visited. They already had panels cut and they already have the assembly line going. They're telling me I will have, it's a 100-piece order. They're saying they'll have 60 by Christmas and the remaining 40 soon thereafter. So we're keeping our fingers crossed.
That's awesome.
What did you think about Christmas?
Does that mean the first 60 will be available to be shipped out before that person has Christmas? Or you probably don't know. It's going to depend on when they show up. What's up, Brandon?
I really don't know. They're saying I'll have 60 by Christmas. Okay. So what I'm hoping to do is go by there sometime next week. And if they've got 15 or 20 done, then I'm going to go ahead and contact the first 15 or 20, however many people, because I do have an order for this. We actually put it in a spreadsheet. I will contact them and tell them that their order is ready. Now, there's one caveat to this. I will tell you that the Coyote is exactly what we showed, the Coyote. but I haven't physically seen a multicam yet, and I want to make sure that it's to my standards, because I know the sewing and all that'll be good, but I don't know how it's going to look, without having the multicam Velcro. From what they're saying, they can't source multicam Velcro that's mil spec. I've got the mil spec on everything from the outer material to you name it. I've got all the mil spec numbers that'll actually be on the website. But they're very funny because they only deal with the military. I mean, all their stuff is, they have their documents on where they sourced it and what mil standard it holds to. So I want to see how it looks in the multicam first. What type of piping, all this other stuff, border material.
So basically what I got out of what you just said was you're going to see multicam with Coyote Velcro and stuff, right?
I don't know. That's what I got to see first. Like I said, the Coyotes are already in production. They're already making those, but I haven't actually seen a multicam unit. Until I do, I'm not going to approve the multicam unless I'm happy with it. I mean, I don't want something that looks like a piece together, it's got to look good. And if it doesn't look good, then I guess we'll just have to go with Coyote. I don't know yet. They're saying it'll look fine, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And so I learned something else too. This will be interesting for you guys. So to me, multicam is multicam. And then I heard about, you guys ever heard of Scorpion? Scorpion is what they called, I guess multicam is owned by Cry Precision, or Cry. If you look at any of the Cry pants or anything like that, and the CRYE, that stuff's really expensive. Okay. I guess they wanted to do their own. And so they being the Army. And so they came out with something called Scorpion camouflage. Now, when you hold both of them together, multicam and Scorpion, you visually can't really tell a difference. It looks identical, but I guess this gets them away from having to pay their royalties. They call Scorpion OCP, and basically it's what is it? Operational combat something. I can't remember.
Pattern?
But anyway, it's called
Pattern?
Yeah, I think so, maybe. But yeah, because this company only does stuff for the Army and also for some other groups and units, they only use OCP. So I do want to go ahead and get that ahead. Is when I said multicam, it was presented to me as multicam, but it truly is. And look it up. You can't tell the difference when you hold the two fabrics side by side. It's like multicam, but it's called OCP. Scorpion.
That's cool. Didn't know that.
Yeah, and so another thing too is if you guys are into camouflage, and I know Rick likes the Gulch gear and everything else, if you ever, I mean, it's almost a science. I mean, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the materials that they source has to have low IR signatures. I've dealt with this with other things, but it's pretty cool when you look under night vision on how different patterns look. It's amazing how well some of the digital patterns worked. I have a piece right here, but when you hold it up against foliage, it just disappears. But multicam sticks out, your woodland camo sticks out. But it seems like all that digital stuff, nobody likes it. But man, under night vision, holy crud, the stuff disappears almost.
Yeah, it's what an IR reflectiveness to it or something. Silver Fox is in the bed.
He's in the bed.
Been to bed. What the hell? I can Silver Fox. You be careful. Let's see. I've never heard of Sub-Zero more than Scorpion. Ramsey Country like Sub-Zero more than Scorpion. LOL. I don't know. Website coming soon. Brian T says, ? Website coming soon. When's that going active, mister? He going.
It was supposed to go active this weekend, but I've had while I'm always trying to make this stuff educational as much as I can anyway. But I did get approved for a patent, and that is fulfilled. I'm gonna have to cover up my name and stuff like that. But So there's the paperwork on the patent, and somebody will get smart and figure out the barcode. But I had a lot of questions about patents. Let's go ahead and just discuss this really, really quickly, because I just applied for another one this week, actually. And yeah, the bag is patent pending. There's not going to be issues with that. But I had some questions about cost and what it takes to get a patent and whatnot. You're going to need an attorney. A patent attorney is the easiest way to do it, because they need to research to make sure that this isn't what we call prior art, something that's already been done. You come up with a patent and you find out a guy did it, 40 years ago. It kind of negates your whole thing on a patent. What they'll do is they'll start searching, and it'll take them a little while to do that. And then you've got, look, I'm not an attorney. I'm just explaining the way it was explained to me. So the bad MF, I've got one over here. It actually qualified for 4 different patents. Okay. No, I don't even need to grab it. You guys know what it is. One is a design patent, and then you can also have utility patents. Utility patents, the thing qualified for like 3 different utility patents. There's a big difference in price, though. Now, maybe you guys have friends that are attorneys and the stuff's a lot cheaper, but I'll tell you what a design patent costs. A design patent is going to run you somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000. It's about what it is. Utility patent is going to run you more, $11,000 to $15,000, something like that. But that includes maintenance fees and everything else for like 20 years. So if you're looking to go into that, I know somebody's watching tonight that had some questions about this. It's going to take money, plain and simple. You're going to have investors unless you've got it yourself. And the way it was explained to me by the attorney, you have to make sure that hike is definitely worth the view. If you spend all of this money. So let's just say I did 3 utility patents and 1 design patent on this. I'm looking at a minimum of about a $30-something thousand investment. But here was the analogy. It's just a no trespassing sign. Let's say Rick gets the bright idea. He's like, hey, I want to make this bag and I want to do this. And he starts making it. I don't know about it. And then somebody contacts me and says, hey, man, this Isyour6covered guy is doing a knockoff of your bag. Now what I got to do is contact him, have my attorney contact Rick, and tell him, give him a cease and desist because we have a patent on it. Well, if it's a design patent, all he's got to do is change it up by about 10% or so. But then utility patent is a little different. It's how it's used, the functionality of it, whereas design is exactly what it says, design. But Rick says, you know what, screw you. I've been making this thing for 5 years. I don't know anything about your patent. I'm not going to stop. And he just keeps making it. Well, the problem with that is now I've got to sue him. Well, I got to pay to do that. I got to have the backing to do that. And so it's going to be even more money. So like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. If you think it's worth it, then do it. And then on top of that, it only protects you in the United States. This is a U.S. patent, but this is also an EU patent as well. I've got coverage in Europe. This is for something else other than the bad MF. So you also have Asian patents as well. So it's a lot of money when you want to get full coverage as much as you think you can, and they're still going to knock it off anyway.
Now, can you get a China patent?
I don't know if it's China. It covers Asia. Hold on for just a second. I got to step away for just a moment. Hold on.
It seems like China's the one that copies all the shit. So if you could just figure out a way to keep China out of it, you'd probably be pretty good. China. Ray, what's the turnaround at Lapua Test Center? And did you use West or East Coast? Don't they have one in Ohio? Mac Evie's gone, but he ended up having to use the Arizona one because the other one.
I'm back. All right. I was actually going to do a video on this. This is a great
okay,
question.
cool. You got 5 minutes. I'm going to go pee. Ready? Set, go.
All right, guys. Don't be looking at the horrible ceiling there, but it's rafters. So I have the certificate, thanks to Bill Sweeney, if he's on, for the Lapua Testing Center. So the ammo that I have for my Rimfire 22 shot well, shot great, but everybody said, hey, if you send it off to Lapua, they'll do this testing. It's only $50. So what you do is you go online, you can schedule an appointment. There's 2 places in the United States that do it. Okay, there's more in the world, but in the United States, you have one in Ohio, you have one in Arizona. So I wasn't going to go visit in person. I live in North Carolina. There's no reason for me to drive up to Ohio and watch while they do this, especially with COVID-19. They're not, I don't think they're really receptive on letting people sit and watch them test for about 2 hours. I think the whole process takes about 2 hours or so. So what you do is you go online, you have to read every single thing on how to ship it and blah, 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 blah. And you send them an email with your type of rifle. I did not give them the chassis. Unless it's glued in, they really don't want the chassis. They have a fixture. They're going to make sure they have a fixture to lock your action into, and they will shoot it down in basically a tunnel. And I didn't even give them a scope. You take the scope off of it. Basically, I sent them a barreled action with the trigger and nothing else. You'll get an email right afterwards. And what I mean is like within 5 minutes, you get an email saying you will be contacted within 24 hours, 1 business day. Well, I did this 2 Sundays ago, and I got that email, and I had no response whatsoever for like 4 days. And I'm like, geez, I need to call them. I got busy with some stuff, and so I called them. No return email, no phone call back. Call them again, no phone call back. And I'm not knocking on them, because I did get an email after I sent another email the following Sunday. And it wasn't a nice email. It was nice. It was professional. But it was basically, I've done exactly what you've asked. I'm supposed to be shipping it to Ohio. I've not gotten a call back for a scheduled date yet. I immediately get an email the next morning stating that they had been out of town. And so Ohio is now deferring all mail-in testing to Arizona and to contact them. So I just forwarded that email to those guys, called them the next day, got everything set up, and so I shipped the rifle off to Arizona. So it costs a little more in shipping and whatnot. It did cost me about $90 to get it shipped out there. You do have to pay for it to come back as well. And what they'll do is they'll test it, I think Monday. They'll show me which lot number, and at that point, you have the option of buying, I think, 5,000 rounds of whatever you're having tested, because you'll choose Center X or Midas or whatever. And you guys might say, well, 5,000 rounds. Well, you got to remember, you only want to do this once. You don't want to keep sending it off every year. So if you can swing it, I mean, you're looking at being able to, number one, get it right now, get the ammunition, which you can't find Center X anywhere. Number two, the ammunition that's optimized for your long rifle. And so it enables me to do 2 things at once. So I've got to pay for shipping back. So all total, I'll have probably about $200 in it, you know, with shipping there, with insurance and shipping back. That's the whole process. And that's what I've been going through with it. Let's see. Stainless or carbon steel barrels for 22. I'm going to go with stainless, no carbon wrap barrels. No, it wasn't no testing, Brian Duchesne, for COVID-19. I think it was having walk-in people just coming in throughout the day, watching while they're testing. Who would enforce a China patent? Exactly. The only people that can enforce a China patent. See, Brian, this is a problem that I know that Microtech has a huge issue with for their knives, because there's a lot of, and I don't mean like similar. I'm talking about a straight out knockoff counterfeit clone with the trademark logos and everything else. And the only way we can really enforce it, being Microtech as a company, is when U.S. Customs basically sees a Microtech product coming from overseas, and then they can grab it, because, and that's a pretty difficult thing anyway, because if you're outsourcing anything from overseas, you can't do that. See, Microtech doesn't outsource anything overseas. It's all done in the United States. So as long as everything's made in the United States, if it comes in through customs and it's got a Microtech logo, I mean, a bunch is going to get through, but it is going to get grabbed, because they'll know it's a counterfeit. Joe Bender.
Okay, Joe Bender asked a great question, and he's going to tell us something that I did not know until he tells us.
So the cost of 5,000 rounds, it depends on the ammunition that you're buying. You can go ahead and figure Center X is going to run you about $13 a box or so. but you're not buying it from Lapua. You actually, when you purchase it, it has to go to the dealer of your choice who is already a Lapua authorized dealer. You're going to pay their price for it, and it has to go through them so they get the sale. My understanding is they're not going to jack it up just because of the situation right now where, 22 is bringing more money, now, like 9mm and 5.56. It's going to be at normal prices. So you're looking at it probably around $1,300 anywhere. Yeah, about $1,300 for a case of 5,000 rounds, something like that. I don't know exactly. I'll know more next week.
But you will have it. It is designed and tested for that rifle.
Yep.
So that is a good thing. Could you imagine if they tried to charge you the going rate of crazy COVID prices right now?
Well, the thing is, I haven't seen like Lapua and like the Ely, I haven't seen a big increase in the price because it was already expensive anyway. It's just there isn't any. You can't find it.
Exactly. Unfortunately.
Now I told these guys, you guys know from just when I'm in here doing a chat, if I'm facing the other direction, I do keep a pretty decent, large amount of ammunition, just so that when things like this happen, I've got it put away. And I said, look, worst case scenario, guys, when we get to this NRL 22X match, I've got enough to get us by, all of us. Because if you really think about it, you're only going to need about 3 boxes for the entire match. That's 150 rounds. I don't even think we're shooting that many. I think the round count is 125 or so. But you're probably going to use another box or 2 practicing or sighting in, getting your dope. So you figure 5 boxes each. And, I'll do that for Rick. I'll do that for Matt. I mean, guys that I know, but I said, you just have to replace it. That's it. At what I paid for it.
Let's see. The Lapua Center X is going for $20 a box on Gunbroker. Everything on Gunbroker.
I don't judge anything off Gunbroker, okay? Gunbroker is for people that just want to buy stuff that they want to pay those prices. I mean, you can go to Gunbroker and find primers that are going for what? Somebody told me they saw an ad on there for 1,000 primers and it was $900. And it's like, there's people that just don't have it and they'll pay whatever it takes. But no, I'm not paying $20 a box for Center X. I'll shoot CCI standard velocity.
Now, I've heard great things about this company. So when I talk about this company, don't think I'm bashing them because I'm not. So last night I was bored, got on the internet, and I'm like, you know what? Heard great things about Big Daddy Unlimited. It's basically you can get dealer pricing because you're a member of the thing, and your first month is 99 cents. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time because you got to have a membership to get in here to see what the prices are. And I'm like, oh, cool. This is an awesome idea. And it's been around for a while now. I've heard great things. I got a lot of buddies that use it. I get on there last night, and everything is sold out that I want. I'm like, shit. I just started a membership to an empty warehouse is what I started. I was like, this sucks. So I was a little bummed out about that. So I might have to wait till things are back to normal, and then maybe I'll keep my membership. But I'm like, geez, I went there just to see, and it was tough finding anything that I really needed personally. Everything was, basically sold out. And the best you could do was you could click on a button that would email you when stuff's back in stock. So I was a little bummed out about that. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, Drew Bradley, there's no question about it. $1,300. Yeah, if they'll let me do 5,000 rounds, I'm buying 5,000 rounds. So
yeah. Well, and if you get more, you should get more. Some wolf dipped in 80W90, and you get the premium stuff. EP interrogations. Speaking of the January match, got an email on targets out to 500.
500 yards.
Holy shit. Maybe I should get a little more MOA on that scope of mine.
Yeah, it's called more hold.
Oh, I'm going to be dialing all the way up and still holding at the bottom. I'm having a feeling. Well, I'm glad I'm not.
So this is a great topic. I've had a lot of people ask me this. What is the best rail minutes of angle to get for 22 long rifle? And it depends. If you're shooting a match that's 100 and in, it's no big deal. But on some of these matches where we're shooting out to 500 yards, guys, I mean, even if you put 50 minutes on there with a good quality scope, you're going to have a hard time reaching out there without having to hold at some point. 30 minutes of angle on what I've seen so far, whether it's the CZ or whether it's the Voodoo, 30 minutes of angle on most scopes is going to get you somewhere around mid to upper 300 yards. That's it. You're going to have to hold the rest, okay? So then some guys say, well, I'll just go 40 minutes. And that's probably doable, okay? I've shot plenty of rifles with 40 minutes on it, and it can work well, but if they throw a target in there and it's really, you got to make sure you can still get it zeroed and not having it shadowing on the top of the scope because you're working so high off the top end of it. I've actually shot some scopes with a 50-minute of angle. You're definitely going to see shadowing, but you're still not going to be able to dial out to 500. You're still going to have to do some holding. So I think just to make it simple, I think 30 is the way to go. You know, maybe if you've got something like these Burris XTR inserts where you can go 5-minute increments, maybe you go 35, who knows? But I think you've just got to, I mean, you're not going to shoot the whole match at 500 yards. It's just going to be max distance at 500. So you might only sling a few at 500 and a few at 400, but almost everything else is going to be, honestly, I'm having a feeling it's going to be 200 and in.
Well,
for 80% of your shots.
On my Skittle rifle, my Toucan Sam rifle, I have 50 minutes angle on that because that spur mount was 30 and it came with a 20, and we were a little bit worried about it. And I've been lucky on that, so it actually worked out. Luckily, I had enough in the scope, but yeah, that's gonna suck at 500 yards. I don't know. That's gonna be a lot. Let's see. I think I was at 300 yards, and it was 22 mils. So 500 shit is, what'd you say? 30 probably. Probably more than that. 33.
What's that? No, 400 yards. 400 yards was going to be about 21 mils or so, right? 500 is going to drop dramatically. I think it was 30 something mils.
Yeah, that's it'll be close. It'll be at the bottom. You're basically gonna have to be on freaking like 6 power to see the bottom.
It's a long ways for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Bill Sweeney's got to hold 30.
He says 30 minutes. So he's an MOA guy.
Oh, it should be less. It should be more then.
That's what I was thinking, but who knows? Who knows?
Let's see. There's some good stuff here. Let me go back a little bit. I was working on my parts cabinet. Did I miss the answer to the question for Ray? Ballistic advantage for a 24-inch 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. Any others? Heavy or fluted? You won't hear him say fluted.
I'm not a fluted barrel guy, guys. We actually talked about this one night in one of the chats. I don't know if you guys had mentioned it, but I think I don't see any benefit whatsoever to a fluted barrel unless it's so daggone heavy you're just trying to remove some weight. But I think you can cause a lot more issues with the fluted barrel. I know it looks trick, but I'm not a fluted barrel guy.
Brian,
And let's not. And yeah, I don't know who bought a Voodoo for $500, but I didn't pay $500. I paid a whole lot.
No,
more
that's 500 yards.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, we were shooting 500. We even shot 700 with our RPRs. So with the Ruger precision rimfires.
That was not the first shot, that's for sure. Not for
you
me.
got that right.
Aim at that branch. Nope, a little left of that branch. Higher up. Nope, next branch. Let's see. Oh, they don't do factory returns, even if it's factory issue. Someone had asked about prices. I can tell you that on the SIG, the Kilo 3000s, you had to click a little button and then you emailed you a price, and it was $930, I think was the price.
Well, I know Midway, for all this Black Friday stuff, they had SIG 3000 BDXs for $805 because some guys bought them, and they asked me if that's a good price. I said, heck yeah, that's a good price.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Midway?
What's that?
You said Midway USA?
They did have a special on them about a month and a half ago, I think it was, because I know quite a few guys that went in and bought them. Yeah, exactly. Shaggy Rifleman. The amount of weight saved from a fluted barrel is debatable. I mean, you're talking just minuscule, okay? It's not doing, I don't think it's doing any good, and then the guys say, well, it's more surface area. It is, but if you look at the stats on it, you're not drawing any more heat, and you're only getting the rigidity of the internal dimension of the inside of the fluting. Then you can also have a lot of issues as far as stress relieving. Of course, you can heat it up again and all that, but I think you're introducing more problems than what it's worth.
Yeah, they're out of stock. Back ordered is okay, and they're $11.99 again. The Kilo 3000 BDXs. Damn it. Missed out on that deal. Good thing y'all got
Sniper Hunter says, why stainless steel over a chromoly carbon steel? Oh, you know what? I misunderstood you. Sorry, Conservative Sniper Hunter. I thought you were talking about carbon, like wrapped barrels, something like a Proofer, a Christensen, or a Bartland wrapped barrel. So I just disregard what I said earlier. I just misread the question.
JT Holds wants to know when we can see Matt's new Voodoo. I haven't seen it either. I said, hey, send me a picture. He's all, it's like every other Voodoo bolted. I was like, okay, Dick. So it looks just like the rest of them, I guess. That's what he told me. But yeah, you'll see it when it gets the chassis, I'm sure. If you go with the fluted barrel for looks, I can say okay, provided the barrel matches the looks of the rest of the rifle. If not, then I'm going to say you need to rethink your life's choices.
I'm not going to lie to you either, guys. I'm not a big fan of fluted bolts. The spiral bolts and all that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too simple, but if that, what is that doing? Is that supposed to give me extra clearance for dirt and debris? I've heard people argue that as well.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I'm not into all that. Some of my rifles might have it when I buy it, but just give me simple. It
gives you a chamber for the dirt to escape out of.
It's not like, now then don't get me wrong. These guys, they have these, like shotguns, like with the Benelli M2s. It's like, oh, what you want to do is you want to low mass that inertia bolt. It'll come back faster. It'll cycle faster. Yeah, last time I checked a bolt gun, you're cycling it, so I don't see where the benefit of that spiral fluted bolt is.
I think you pull it back faster now.
Yeah, reciprocating, I get it. Okay, every little bit counts. Okay, it's just kind of like when you talk about, rotational weight is a whole like when you're talking about like wheel sets, whether you're talking about a motorcycle or a bicycle. Saving a little bit of weight off rotational mass is huge compared to unsprung weight or sprung weight on a bicycle frame. Okay, so that's a big difference. That's the way I'm trying to make this analogy on, losing weight on a bolt carrier group, and you have these low mass bolt carrier groups and all that. I don't really care. I mean, I can, a regular one I think shoots just as fast, or you can make it shoot just as fast. If you're shooting that fast, you've got other things to be worrying about anyway. I don't think that's. I don't know. I think people get into the aesthetics, get caught up on that. It's not going to make you a better shooter, in my opinion, just because you end up going with a low mass operating system. You know what? You know, I don't mean to call out JP, but I'm just saying on any of it, it looks good, but how much faster is it really?
That was the one of the.
Go ahead.
That was one of the things I was looking for, was the silent capture on the buffers, and they had them. They didn't have them in stock, but they were $103.
Yeah. Now, silent capture to me is worth it, just because I don't like the noise of the buffer spring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying it makes my gun run any better. I just don't like that noise. And so to me, yeah, call it a buffer suppressor, whatever you want to call it. It's real simple. It comes out, it's almost like a cartridge style. You can tune the weights on it, which I don't. I just throw them in and it's good to go. And to answer conservative sniper hunters, I believe mine's the carbon steel barrel by Bartlett. I do not have a factory ace barrel on the Voodoo like the Kukri Contour. I actually went with a Bartlett on mine, and it's the full MTU Contour. So I'm 0.93 at the muzzle. I think Rick is like a 0.87 with the Kukri. Yeah.
The Joe says that fluted barrels will mess up your barrel harmonics. Chromoly carbon steel barrel. No, the stainless, as far as I know. The one I have.
Yeah. You know, and let's see. I agree with Shagger Rifleman. He says, in his professional opinion, people spend way too much time altering the wrong surfaces. Okay, guys, does a Gucci Glock look great? Yes, because it makes it look different than every other Glock out there. But I don't carry a Gucci Glock. I've reviewed a couple of them and everything else. Rick will tell you I'm either carrying a Glock 19 factory stock, bone stock, with exception. It's always going to have night sights on it and a flashlight. And then, you know, my SIG is bone stock with the exception of a flashlight. When it comes to something that I think I'm going to need to rely on, I don't want to monkey with it. Okay. I think that the company, the manufacturers do a good job at what they do. And I don't think slide lightning and dimpling barrels and all that other stuff does anything for you other than just make it look better.
The only thing that makes it better,
trigger.
Well, the trigger, of course, but I have put in a lot of the competition pistols, the Glock stuff, like the 24 and the 35, 34 stuff. The
one piece guide rod.
They do make better barrels.
Yeah.
But no, when it gets all crazy with all the cool Gucci stuff, half the time the fit doesn't even work from the slide to the new barrel. Remember we had the one issue with somebody's Gucci Glock? It didn't fit well. It's grainy as shit. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember.
So, trying to get everything to match up perfect and actually work like a factory Glock is, I don't know. They do look cool, some of them. Some look stupid as hell.
Okay. I don't know. Outlaw Josie Wells, I don't know if I'm going to redo the suppressor test. In my opinion, it's done. I'm not going to shoot my 22 long rifles with a suppressor for this type of competition, shooting out to 400 and 500 yards. Okay. If I'm just shooting, yeah, I'll throw a can on there, no big deal. But I've seen everything I need to see. And I think the follow-up video showed that, not only myself, but other people testing it on standard deviation and extreme spread. They all go up when you put the suppressor on there. And it was really, really cool hearing other people trying that same test with their chronographs and finding the same data. Rick and I learned that started a huge shitstorm online on some of these rimfire forums about me doing that video. Like huge. It even ended up, I think Sniper Side even had something on it. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know this. But I guess this has been a debated thing. I mean, now you got guys that are asking me to do the test with a barrel tuner. Look, if I got to throw a barrel tuner and a suppressor on there, just forget it. I'll just shoot it without anything and just shoot a raw barrel, you know? So we'll see you, Bill. Take care.
Yeah, see you at the match, if not before then.
Yeah, it does have me interested in finding out about centerfire rifle, but not as much. Because remember, one of the things that we talked about is we're shooting these matches with exclusively nothing but subsonic ammunition. You and I learned, you throw stingers in there, throw something that's supersonic in there, it does horribly. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already subsonic. Well, the thing about centerfire is already going to be supersonic. You're not slowing it down any. Okay. Suppressors don't slow your bullets down. Typically make them go faster. So I believe because you're working in that supersonic range, it's not going to be as big of a deal as it is with these little rimfires.
You guys are killing it out there in the comments section. I love it. Wrong with slide lighting is that they don't change out the guide rod assemblies to match the spring with the slide. Yeah, and the last one we messed with, the fit and finish. Well, actually, the finish looked decent, but it was like they took a different gin barrel and tried to put it with another gin slide, and like the lockup from the barrel to the slide, I don't know, it was horrible. And he was all excited about this gun, and I'm just like, this thing is a piece of shit. Like, I was like,
is this the person that we were both talking about? A different person that we both know?
Oh yeah, we totally know him.
Yeah.
He actually bought your latest.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. I mean, this guy bought this ultimate trick Gucci Glock. I never reviewed it, but it didn't work. And it was all pretty and everything else. So I started pulling out the calipers and measuring, and I'm like, dude, I said, this one's on the upper end. And what ended up happening was you got minimum maximum tolerances on surfaces, right? Well, he was at the top end of one, at the top end of the other, and it had interference. And so it was actually not firing properly, wouldn't go back into battery. And of course, when he sends the barrel back, oh no, it's within spec. Yeah, it's up on the top end, but it's within spec. Well, then they checked the slide, okay. But he had interference, and it wasn't working. And I was like, dude, you paid how much for this thing? Because some of these guys pay huge money for these Glocks. And, I'll tell you something else too. I need to do this test. I said I was going to do it. I never did it because I was sent a really nice customized Glock. And originally the guy told me, he goes, I'll do it for you, but I want you to torture test it to actually see. And this is my whole thing. If I have a Gucci Glock with all these slide cuts in it and milling here and there and everywhere, does it make it more susceptible to failing in inclement conditions or testing? Mud, sand, debris, getting into or ingressing into the action of the gun or into the barrel mating surfaces and causing more problems than one that's factory. Well, the point was, he was like, I'm going to give you the pistol, but you need to destroy it. Well, it was a work of art. And I called him back. I was like, dude, I'll review the pistol. I said, but I just can't do this. I said, I would rather send you the pistol back than to destroy all this work by throwing it in mud and rocks. And he said, I want you to throw it as far as you can on the pavement. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I never did it. But
it's a nice pistol. It's a nice pistol.
Yeah, it's too nice for me to do that too.
I would rather do that to. I got a few Glocks we could huck through the damn weeds and slide across blacktop.
Brian Duchesne, get you a Game Changer or borrow one of ours or a medium Game Changer. Have a bipod. You're good enough.
Yeah.
I don't think you can use 22 Magnum or 17 HMR, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
The Smith & Wesson M2.0. I had the original one that came out, Pistol Pete. It was nice. The trigger was decent. It was a good pistol. I ended up dealing with that one. I ended up selling that one to buy a suppressor, actually. Dun, 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 dun. This is the only handgun anyone needs.
It came back to me.
Which one's that one?
I just picked up an STI Edge that I had customized a couple years ago, and it came back to me today.
You got all sorts of shit that came back to you lately.
I know it. Tell me about it.
By the way, I don't own a Glock. Who's your favorite top tier 1911?
This is the new Microtech disassembly tool.
SVI, Mr. Josie Outlaw Josie Wells. SVI, not STI.
Well, okay, so I haven't told them anything, but yeah, I did recently within the last week pick up a SVI and an STI. This STI has all SVI internals and everything else. It's an STI, basically lower and upper, if you will, but everything else is SVI on it. But yeah, this is the new disassembly tool from Microtech. These are just hitting the streets, and I think
I thought they weren't going to hit the streets.
I didn't think so either, but apparently there was so much demand for them. They're selling these. I don't know how fast they can make these things, but these things are like $275, and it comes with 8 bits, like all of the bits for all the different Microtechs. And guys, I got this one a long time ago, and this was the original one. And basically, it's a machine tool that has a cap that on the inside of the cap, it stores all the spare bits inside of here. I don't know if you guys can see that. These bring like $350 to collectors. But to compare the two, this is the new one. It has kind of like a frag pattern all the way around it.
Yeah.
And that way you can work on and service all your knives, which you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're supposed to send them in to get fixed. Let's see.
Joe Bender, they say that, but it's not going to void the warranty. The reason they say that is because you have, and this is, I think, why they don't do a whole lot of these. They only offer them they've only done it one other time. It was many, many years ago, is because if you don't know the knife, you're going to lose parts. It's kind of like taking apart. Let's just say you're trying to put a detent in your front takedown pin for your AR. How many people here can say they've lost one of those little detents? I can. Okay. That's why I keep a bunch of them around. I've got it down now where I usually don't lose one, but the first time you do it, you're probably going to lose one. It's across the room. Yeah, I know about the grocery bag trick and all this other stuff. But when you first take one apart, you might not know. And if you touch the wrong thing, parts go flying. And then now you don't have a part, and Microtech will not send a part to you. They will not send you a spring. They will not.
So you're screwed because they know you broke into it and tried to do something.
It's an order to keep you from disassembling. Yeah, but they're not going to void your warranty. Okay. They also say sharpening the knife will void your warranty. He's gone now. However, he was on here earlier, but there was a gentleman that had a Microtech knife, and after the first week and a half of owning it, he took it to one of those draw-through sharpeners. He turned a flat blade into a recurve blade. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Right, Rick?
No, not officially. Is it JC?
JM.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, he turned it into a recurve. He drug it across so hard across the ceramic sticks that he put too much pressure right off the choil, which is just off the front edge of the blade. Hold on. And so this area right in here is called the choil. And if you can imagine drawing it, what happened was he was using so much pressure, it put a curve to this part of the blade and then came back flat again. And guys, you would be amazed. I've seen people send in knives that they literally took their Sears bench grinder from, their garage that's been out there for 30 years and took a stone, like a bench grinding stone, and just, it looks like a toothpick about this thick. They ground half the blade down. Microtech's not going to warranty that. That is, you screwed it up. Okay. So they will not void your warranty because you sharpened it. They'll resharpen it for you as long as you haven't damaged the profile of the blades beyond repair. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes great sense.
Because everybody thinks they can sharpen a knife. And, I bought this Lansky, I bought this, this Wicked Edge, whatever. And those are great sharpeners, but you got to know what you're doing,
Yeah, that's why you just have a couple Microtechs and then you send one in while you use the other one. And then that way you always got a knife. But if one needs to be sharpened, off it can go.
Yeah.
No wood rasp on the mic. Those don't work well, 45.
I think I've seen that 45 auto. No, Drew, unfortunately, I am not doing a free giveaway tonight. I wish I could. I actually had one set aside to possibly do one soon, and then it ended up giving it away. Rick will tell you, I've given away so many freaking knives. It's a sickness, I guess, but you're not even supposed to. It's bad luck to give away a knife. You're not supposed to do that,
Most of these guys have seen you give away a few knives, so
yeah. Okay, so I do have a serious question. I do want some honest feedback on this.
Okay.
So when I open this website up, I'm thinking about including some items that I believe in, things that work for me that I would, endorse, if you will. I am set up now as a Trigger Tech dealer, by the way, so that, I might have a Trigger Tech, even though it's not made in the USA, it's Canadian. I'm okay with that because I believe in that product. I like the Trigger Tech triggers. I think, Rick, you like them. There's quite a few guys that I shoot with that swear by those triggers, not only in a bolt action, but also in a semi-automatic.
But they're good.
So I think I'm going to offer those on the website. Of course, I got to adhere to their MAP pricing and everything else. But I'm also going to do a special run of Microtechs that I don't know if you guys follow Iraq Veteran 8888. He's done 2 knives, I think, with Microtech. The first one was like an ammo can Ultratech.
Yeah.
And then he just did one that is a SOCOM Elite Auto, and it's this blue color. Okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of colored knives, but I do have a few of them around. And my signature thing is, and just because I like it doesn't mean everybody else should like it, but I'm thinking about doing a partial serrated blade because I think every knife should have a partially serrated blade.
It should.
That's just the way I am. If you're a hard user of knives, I don't think you can argue that fact. And people say, well, I like a plain edge because I can resharpen it. I think the versatility of a partial serrated outweighs just you being able to sharpen it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to offer the LUDT partial serrated and then the SOCOM Elite partial serrated but manual only. And it'll be the blue color. It'll be the same exact blue color that it was an exclusive, but remember, it's not an auto, but the same one that Iraq Veteran 8888 did. I'm not going to have any out the fronts on it. I like the out the fronts. They work well, but I do know in a sandy environment, they can be gummed up pretty easily.
Yeah.
Good idea, bad idea. What do you think?
They both sold out in like an hour, if he remembers correctly.
Yeah, I'm not
SE.
going to carry a ton of them. I'd buy one for a penny. Sorry, I can't buy them for a penny.
Well, you'd have to, buy it for at least half a penny. JT Holt says,
So
good idea.
SC, yeah, and out the front, like I said, I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to do switchblades or manual flippers.
Yeah, folders.
Yeah, folders.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. I think
Could do
honestly, I think you should do a
these,
different color.
which that would be a fixed blade. What's that now?
I know the reason why
Do
you're
my
doing
own
the
color?
blue. I know the reason why you're doing the blue, but it'd be cooler to do a different color. And I like blue, trust me. You know I like blue.
Yeah. Well, this was a deal that was offered to me from Microtech. Remember, I can't make my own deals, and they said we can do this color for you. You can go with the manuals, and it is something that is unique, and they can't run another color. It's just for me. I don't have the volume of knives that I'm purchasing like they do.
No, luckily you know somebody that works there and owns the place. The penny was so it wouldn't bring bad luck. Oh, gotcha. 45 auto. I don't care what color.
Yeah, that's it.
It is blue bullets. Oh, Pistol Pete's wanting some ammo. Unicorn Rainbow Vomit Microtech? Question mark.
No.
Bucks and guns. Come on, man. That's called what the hell is that? Toucan Sam Skittles. It's a cereal / candy. What is the advantage of a partially serrated blade versus plain? Go cut a piece of rope and you'll find out instantly.
Yeah, so I actually did a torture test video, and I had this really thick polymer rope, and I mean, literally, it was like 8 strokes I'm talking about this thing could cut the hair off your hands, that's why I have no hair. And so it was about 8 strokes with 2 perfectly sharpened knives. And then I took this one out, which wasn't even that sharpened. It's a partially serrated blade, and it was 1 stroke, and it was through it. Like I said, it's just something I'm thinking about. Not 100% yet.
Yeah, no, especially like in the fire service and around ropes and all that stuff. It's definitely a bonus to have a freaking serrated blade.
I agree 100%.
When's your website go live again? Next week?
There was a chance it would go live this weekend, but we're trying to get everything worked out with the photos and all that.
Joe Bender says his Ultratech is a pain to maintain. Yeah.
Okay, so who said that? Joe Bender?
Yep.
Okay, so Joe Bender, I got to be careful how I say this because I do a lot of work for the company on a different end of it. I'm not with the knives. I have a lot about the fronts, okay? Like a lot. And these work great. But you have to maintain these about once a month. And what I mean is you got to spray some rim oil in there. You can't find any rim oil right now. But a really light viscosity oil, and you got to blow them out. So there's a higher maintenance schedule with these than there is on something that's like this or a manual like this. You can get in the sand with this, not have any problems with deployment or anything else. A little bit of sand in this, and it's done. So even something as simple as cutting an apple a couple of times and then drawing in the skin with this, and then it gums up the action or the locks in there, will make this fail. I don't have to worry about that with this. The worst that'll happen is this might be sluggish in firing, but it will still fire. Rick, you might have experienced that with yours as well with the LUDT. If you get something really, really sticky, it'll gum up the action a little bit, but not like these.
Check out this California knife. So I can't bring my good knives to America, or I can't take them from America into California. So I do not have a serrated, which sucks ass. And I've been carrying this. Family member gave me this when I was here. And I've been carrying this for quite a few years, but it's definitely wish it was serrated, definitely for sure.
Yeah, Shaggy Rifleman, I just saw your comment. I had to scroll back up. If you do get that sample and I can test it and it's something that I believe in and endorse, I will probably throw it on there if that's what you'd like for me to do. But yeah, I'd have to definitely test it first. Ray Rick, 6.5 Creedmoor, small rifle primers. Do you use standard or Magnum? I just use standard.
May have missed it.
Oh, I'm going to tell on myself. So you guys, you see this combat turret on? I want you to watch how fast this thing fires. Ready? It doesn't. You know why? It's because my dumbass took this apart the other day to service it, and the spring flew off. And I know these knives better than anyone else. Well, right now, this basement is like a bomb shelter right now because not a bomb shelter. It looks like a grenade went off in here, a bomb went off in here. And I have yet to find the spring. And I spent about 5 minutes, and I was like, dang it. And so I'm going to have to send it in and have a new spring. That's why you don't take them apart.
Yeah, because even a guy that knows what the hell he's doing can screw
No, I
it.
knew what I was doing, but I set everything down on the table. And when I was taking apart the pocket clip, I dropped the pocket clip, and the pocket clip hit on the back, and it made the thing go ding. And so I had 3 parts flying: front, rear, leg mount, and the spring. And and they're not supposed to separate, because they're hooked in there. But you know what it is. If it can happen, it will. And so I've got a little tiny spring floating around here somewhere. And in the meantime, that knife is down.
I would comments on that video. The one where it was your hands with the black gloves?
Yeah.
It was that I had said in there red Loctite, and they're like, he probably meant blue, and I'm like,
no, I meant red.
I meant red.
Yeah, because in the factory, that's what they use is red Loctite, and everybody says, well, that's too much. That's too much. Guys, you don't realize how much flex and how much you subject to a knife in your pocket. But over time, with heat and cold and heat and cold and heat and cold, if you use blue Loctite, those screws will loosen up. And since most people don't have access to these tools, it's a pain because they don't want to send it in. There's some things you can do, and you can take like a plastic tip of a pen and heat it up and touch the screw, and it'll kind of form the shape of that screw tip on there. But people don't want to mess with that. They don't use standard, torque screws or anything like that. And so, yeah, red Loctite is what they use.
Yeah, it's always funny. They're like, no, he probably meant blue. He probably meant blue. No, I would never put red Loctite on. Just like, man, just trust me. I know the people that know all these answers.
Yeah. And see, Eve Pistol Pete, when you get a knife in, or when they get a knife in the return authorization, when they're bringing it in for sharpening or anything like that, and they literally get hundreds a day, because people just want to get them sharpened from the factory with the right angles and everything else. It's amazing, even with red Loctite, and everything's clean beforehand. They do it the right way. How many of the screws end up loosening up over time, even with the red.
Yeah, makes sense. Wow, we're at 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Been a great chat, I think, anyway.
Yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully you guys hit that thumbs up button a while ago.
Hey, when you did that poll the other day about too many chats, no, don't do any, I'm glad to have a break, how many people said it's good to have a break?
I don't know. Let's see.
There better be at least one.
There was one. Let me see if I can find it.
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
Wait, where's it at? Oh, Mike STI, since you're on here. Yeah, I know. I said
9%.
9%.
47.
Mike STI, remember, you still have 2 hats coming. I just want to make sure you did send me an email with your address because I got to get that out this week. It's been hectic. So if you haven't sent it, please send it to my email and I'll get that out.
So I got almost 50% said I can't wait for more live chats. So I appreciate everybody out there saying that. It has been a few days, so it's
See you, Steve.
lacking.
JB, weld your gas blocks.
Actually, having a break is good.
Big D,
All
I
right.
have not tested that yet. No.
I don't know. I remember shooting. Well, I can't remember the actual answer now. I was trying to remember what my group sizes were, but going from no can to a can, the Thunder Beast, I want to say it was. I thought it was a little bit better, but I'd have to go back and remember now.
Oh, another thing, guys, is, you know, I'm sure some of you guys are machinists, maybe not, but not all Loctites are equal. There are a lot of different grades of Loctite. Okay, I'm not talking about the different colors, like your purple and your green and your blues and your reds, but even in the reds. Okay, so this is 263. This is red. 273 is red. And then there's another 2 something that's red. There's all different things for temperature ranges and things like that. So not all red is equal. I just said red Loctite. I didn't say what kind.
Red Loctite matters.
That's right. That's right.
All right, everybody. You got anything before we get the heck out of here?
No, man, it's been fun. I ran my mouth too much tonight.
No, you did a great job. All right, everybody. I appreciate you showing up.
Having me.
And you guys stay safe out there. Wish me luck. I got 4 more days to get out of this place, and then I can fly home and show up to America, the United States. So get me out of this enemy line thing. One more. I got 3 more flights. I got the one to fly home, back to work, and then my retirement fly home. And then the only other time I should be on an airplane is to either go shoot a competition or vacation or something. All right. So everybody have a great night. See you on the next one.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Have a good one.